Hey everybody, welcome to Buddy Spirits and Cigars. Today we're going to do the latest Elijah Craig that has been put out, barrel proof that is. It's the A123.
Yes, please.
I've had this for a minute. We just haven't been able to get to it, but today we're going to make it happen. So,
Today's the day.
here we go.
Today's the day.
I do like me some Elijah Craig. I got to be honest.
I'm very excited about this.
I am too. It's the first one that they put out this year, and last year's were awesome. The C922 was my favorite out of last year's, but
Even the worst one,
it's
whichever
not it's not bad.
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the worst one's not bad. So anyway, we're gonna get into this one and see what we think about it.
And even though you crapped on the 18 year, and I agree it's not worth the price, it's still pretty damn good.
It's not. I mean, if they would have not proofed it down to 100,
Oh, yeah.
or I just
If that had been like 110 and like maybe $70, I'd have been way happier. But it was still a good.
This one's 12 years old, non-chill filtered, and it's coming in at 62.82, so 125.6 proof.
Woohoo!
So,
Should be up our alley.
oh man, I'm so excited. All right, here we go.
But non-biased.
Hey, whoa, shut your mouth.
Hey,
Okay, good. Now you can talk.
Hostility. I didn't realize.
Your eyes don't work.
Yeah.
It's all there, huh? Oh, you already tasted?
No,
Oh.
I hadn't done that yet. I didn't.
I thought you were trying to take Bruce's spot.
No.
Hey,
somebody's got to drink first.
leave Bruce to do what Bruce does. Don't try to take his spotlight.
Don't out Bruce the Bruce.
Don't be up at my grill, man.
Boy, it hangs onto that glass big time.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow.
Now look at that.
Hey, thanks for letting me drink yours, by the way, before I had to open mine. I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, you have extended me the same courtesy
Well, true.
on some bottles. So,
True.
I mean, it's no big deal.
Oh, there's that good old Elijah Craig bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is there.
All there.
Mm-hmm. And to me, versus that episode of Booker's we done, that stuff was good. This just, to me, it just engulfs the middle part of your palate and just lights up your whole palate.
I think it lasts longer. Does that make sense?
It does. It's more viscous.
The flavor,
it's oilier.
The flavor stays with you longer. The Booker's was kind of a hot punch and then back off. This is like a repeated, like a chokehold or something.
Yeah, so I'm going to punch you, and then I'm going to hang around to see if I punched you hard enough.
Yeah, the mouthfeel is definitely a lot better. Like you guys have, I mean, I'm just repeating what y'all are saying, but the Booker's just disappeared. This hangs around, and this seems like it'd almost go better with the cigar because you can get a puff in and they can both mingle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not thin. It's not thin like the Booker's was. This one's hanging around and saying, hey, you took a drink, so me and your palate's going to get acquainted for a little while.
Right.
Oh, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a fan. I always have been, though.
I get a really nice caramel note, which
That's what I was about to say.
it's one of the things that I like about that so much.
Vanilla comes out on the nose. Caramel hits you in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Some brown sugar as well.
I get a lot of brown. Maybe not a lot of brown sugar, but I could be confusing the sweetnesses, but I get more brown sugar personally. And I just might be wrong. That does happen. Because when they start getting like, when you start saying vanilla, caramel, brown sugar, for me personally, unless it's just like super apparent, it's hard for me to put my finger or tongue on exactly which one it is. You know what I mean? So for this one, I'm feeling like I'm getting more brown sugar, but it may be vanilla or caramel, but for me personally, it's like I get a lot of that brown sugar.
Well, Fred Minnick, we aren't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Not trying to be, but to me,
I mean, we're three chimps on a Davenport in a basement compared to Fred Minnick, but
right.
To me, the caramel, however you pronounce it, is a little more prominent than the brown sugar, which that's just cooked brown sugar, basically, in a sense. But it does change the flavor of the brown sugar. But I get more of that than I do the prominence of the brown sugar itself, as if you were tasting it by itself. But man, that's solid. So
Very.
That makes me extremely excited for the May batch that's going to come out and the September batch that's going to come out.
Do we think it'll be topped?
Boy,
It's going to be a hard one.
I mean,
it was last year.
True.
It was last year. The C922 beat the other two, and at least that's my opinion. We haven't done a blind side by side, which we should do that.
We're gonna do that. I have to find a driver.
But Fred, it did in Fred Minnick's though. I mean, it C922 topped the other.
Yeah,
two.
I don't think it was just him. I think that was a lot of other people as well.
Yeah,
not just us, because we've had all of them, just not
separately.
on here. Yeah,
we've had them all separately.
I've got an A123 that's like 4 years old, and that year was like the bottle.
So A120, A119.
Yeah. Told you I got dementia.
So the way
that shit was
the way
really,
that these
really
work, in case anybody might be confused, is they come out with the A batch or the first batch, and then they number that. The last two numbers of that is going to be off of whatever year it is. So it'll be the first batch, and it'll be whatever that year is. No, I'm not condescending you at all.
No, I mean
I just want everybody to understand. So whenever it comes down to and the 1 stands for January. So when it comes to the next one, it'll be the B batch, and that'll come as a B523. Mm-hmm. So that comes out in May of 23.
And then the 9 is September.
Yeah, the C batch will come
sense.
out the 9th month of the year, which would be September, and then it'll have whatever the year is.
And I had all of them, like last year's, of them, and it took me longer than I'm proud to admit to realize that, because it like just a couple months ago, I was watching a video and they actually explained it just like you did, and I was like,
yeah,
ha. So I ran in, got all of them out, and I was like, well, look at that.
Yeah. Well, not everybody knows that, and not all the time is there an explanation for the way some of these companies do things.
Right.
But in this sense,
I learned something.
I
really had no freaking clue.
Yeah.
Well, and then I got the May batch in like July or something, so it was so I didn't realize that, this is when it was supposed to come out. But you know how Oklahoma is. Oklahoma always gets everything late,
a little later.
Yeah.
At least to some of the local stores. Maybe some of the hotter stores, they may get it closer to time.
Yeah.
But it does release then, and then you get, whenever you get it, kind of deal. So I got this one last month. I probably had it for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I still got it, and I was excited about it. And with tasting last year's barrel proofs that they sent out, it made me pretty excited for this one. So, to me, last year's A122 was actually second place versus all of those. The C922 just took the cake for me. So B batch kind of finished last. Not to say that the B batch was bad, because it wasn't. It's still very good. But as far as those three go, that's my personal opinion. And there's several other people that have that opinion as well. But with this one, if this one ends up being second, if it ends up being the same way as last year's, I'm extremely looking forward to September, if that's the case.
I would like to know the different mash bills between all of them and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know the answers to that.
Me neither.
As far as, and they may not release it.
True, it may be super top secret.
It may be one of those things that are like, hey, here's our product, and
enjoy it or don't.
Yeah, like it or don't. Here it is. But most people that have been in bourbon for a decent amount of time, they enjoy the barrel proofs. Elijah Craig has done it yet again, in my opinion.
I mean, one of the most solid pours you can get. Didn't matter which batch it is.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, even the one that takes third place is still really good.
Yeah, for sure.
So this time, the San Andreas from Rocky Patel done so well with the Bookers, we decided to do it again with the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and it's not disappointing.
No,
once again.
it's a solid pairing.
I'm gonna start off the review if y'all are good with that, or my score, not review.
Yeah, get after it.
Yep.
I'm gonna be a little bit conservative with my review, and the only reason I say that is I don't want to give this like a 4.5 and then have one that's better and then be like, well, it's not really a 4.75, right? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be a little bit conservative, and I'm gonna give it a 3.8 because it's better than a 3.75. It's better than a 3.75.
Dude, no. We go in quarters, man. You can't do that.
Hey, Mr. Executive, Mr. Producer.
No. It's a 7.5 or a 4. Ain't no 3.8.
Okay.
Ain't no Tahlequah math here, kid.
Okay. Well, it's a 3.8. The value on this bottle.
I'm gonna hurt him after we finish.
I mean,
he asked for it.
12.
He's begging for it on his knees.
I mean, you're talking 12-year barrel proof for $75-$80 is what I think we get a lot of them at. I can usually is what mine have costed. Every once in a while, I can walk in somewhere and find one for $65, which is just like the best bang for your buck out there, or one of them. I mean, that's so hard to beat. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I mean, it's phenomenal.
I got this in I think it was around $75, which is pretty typical.
Yeah.
And to me, it's worth that. I got this from Barrels and Brews, our friends Barrels and Brews.
Shout out to Nate.
Out at Chaffee Crossing. Great. It's a great bottle. And I'm going to do on our typical scale, not try to change things up and be weird about it.
Thank you.
I'm going to give it a 3.75. It's a great pour, and I'm super excited to see what comes out later this year from Elijah Craig.
Well, I'm actually going to be conservative and go 3.5.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Five is going to be nigh unattainable.
Yeah.
So, when you start hitting, really close to 4, over 4, I mean, that's a pretty tough call. That is a fantastic pour, and I wish I had one.
Yeah, for sure.
So, if I had the Ducats and I found one, I would certainly buy it. Hands down.
Without a doubt. It's a great pour, and they don't disappoint once again.
And the San Andreas cigar is going really well. Again, I think pretty much anything, 110 to 130 proof, this cigar is gonna be a solid match.
Yeah, I agree. Something that's this high in proof, you need something that's gonna be able to hang with it, and this cigar does it once again.
And it's really not even a full; it's more of a medium.
Yeah, but
cigar. It's not
Mexican San Andreas wrapper really makes
body,
a big difference.
The flavor's full, but the strength isn't. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I agree. I think it does a very fine job of what it's doing. So hope you got a little bit of education out of this as far as understanding what the A123 or B523 or whatever that stuff.
I sure did.
So that's what it is.
Thank you for that.
And it actually ends up being pretty simple once you kind of know. And you're like, why didn't I figure that out? But it's hard to know everything, and by all means, we do not know everything. So
in the bourbon world, I mean, oh my goodness, how many bottles and mash bills and years and releases, and I mean, it's impossible to keep up with everything.
Yeah, there's no way.
How many reviews have we done? And I'm pretty good at remembering stuff, but every once in a while, I'll be like, "Hey, Terp, did we do this?" I'm looking back through our videos, and I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a full-time job.
Yeah, he expects me to remember, and most of the time I do, but sometimes I'm like, well, I need to go look. I'm not exactly sure, but Anyway, hopefully you learned a few things on this, and with $75 for this and then $5 smoke, I mean, that kind of tells you right there that with that being able to pair good, you don't always have to go expensive on both sides of the coin. So anyway, that's all we have time for this episode. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Be sure that you like, subscribe, and share our content, and we'll catch you on the next one.